Greetings, Patrick here, Have Cheetah Will View. Welcome to November. That's right. Today we're going to do a film review. And actually, I've been flashing this movie for about ever since Saturday. So I'm going to flash it a little bit more because we are going to be talking about 1999 Bats. That's right. That's right. This is another movie that I was gifted by my good friend Catfish, uh, and I actually saw this when it came out at the theater way back in '99 before I moved here actually, um, and when I saw it in the bag that I was given, I said, oh, wow, I got to go talk about this movie. So I watched it, and so I'll share some thoughts. I'll tell you the plot and do some thoughts and stuff like that. This is a very interesting movie too. Has a hell of a pedigree, much like my other movie I reviewed, The Breed. But I'll get to that in a minute. So Bats is a 1999 movie, and it concerns a, a wild some wild bats getting out and attacking everybody and anything. And The movie opens up with a couple of young lovers being killed by these large, aggressive bats. So they die a pretty horrible death. And then we flash over to Arizona and we meet two of our heroes. We meet Dr. Sheila Casper, played by the lovely Dina Meyer, and her assistant Jimmy, who's played by Leon. And they're bat experts. Well, Sheila is, and Jimmy's her assistant, but he knows a lot too. He handles her tech. So she's in a cave monitoring some bats, some different bats, when all of a sudden a noise starts filtering in and starts disturbing the bats, and it turns out to be a helicopter. They have followed. They have found Dr. Casper because they need her help tremendously because of the bat problem in Texas. Gallup, Texas, has been hit by a bat attack. So the CDC, by Dr. Hodges, is sent to find her for her help. So they go back to Gallup and they meet Sheriff Kimsey, who's played by Lou Diamond Phillips, and they also are they're also met by another doctor, um, who's played by Bob Gutton. Um, and it's really cool in the fact that they're all meeting there. This movie has a bigger feel than you would think, but because of the cast is pretty good. Um, so Bob Gutton, who was in the Shawshank Redemption, he plays Dr. McCabe, and as they're talking about these bats, they have mutated, and we find out that the bats have actually were lab rats, or lab rat bats, uh, and Dr. McCabe was doing experiments on them, and two of them escaped, and of course that causes a lot of problems. We later find out that none of these bats, but these bats were supposed to be omnivore. They're supposed to be able to survive, but what they do is they infect other bats, and they basically change them over. They become infected with a virus. And Dr. McCabe, what he hasn't told them, Dr. Casper or Sheriff Kimsey or Jimmy, is the fact that he created these bats as a bioweapon, for them to attack anybody and everything. But of course, the best intentions of mice and men. Um, these bats, if they get out of containment, out of the small town, if they start spreading, they'll be it could be the end of as we know it as mankind, because these bats are super large, they're super aggressive, and they're super strong. So not a good combination. So initially, they have to think about how. Initially, Dr. Casper doesn't want to kill all the bats until she sees them in action, and they devastate the town, including killing Kimsey's good friend and fellow and deputy Wes. So they're in a hot spot. They need some help. They need a lot more help. So of course the National Guard is called in, and they come up with an idea to find the roost where the bats are at, and of course everybody wants to bomb them, but Dr. Casper says that you can't bomb them because you'll scatter them, and then you'll never be able to contain them. So she says the best way we could to get these bats under control is to put them to sleep. Go in the roost, put a refrigeration unit in it, and basically freeze them to death. And then you can go in there and chop them up. But what we don't know is Dr. McCabe, in doing his experiments, well, it's a crazy idea, which makes sense because Dr. McCabe is crazy. So he's the one that let that happen. But after the town is attacked and Dr. Hodges is killed, saving Sheila, um, he appears to go along with the program. So they set up a base to try to attack the bats. And they're working with the National Guard, and they say, let's set up the refrigeration unit and don't do anything at all until daylight. They'll be more apt to not be active during daylight. But of course, the National Guard doesn't listen, and they attack at night, which wakes up the bat, and they wipe out the National Guard detachment. Uh, but Dr. Casper and Kimsey and Jimmy, uh, they race to stop them. Dr. Hodges, he had an accident during the night, so they race to stop him. They come to where the National Guard is at, and they find out the detachment has been wiped out, and now the military is sending in a airstrike, and they have an hour to get this refrigeration unit running and get out of there before the Air Force bombs it into the Stone Age. Of course, it's a very hairy, it's a very close race to the end, and but they managed to stop the bats at the very last second, and before they get bombed to the Stone Age. Um, and civilization as we know it is saved. Um, so yeah, honestly, this movie was fun. That's really what it is. It's a lot of fun. Um, Lou Diamond Phillips, Dina Meyer. Dina Meyer had just wasn't that far off from doing Starship Troopers. It's only 2 years away, so she was a very big name. Still is. She was a very her star was really bright, and of course Lou Diamond Phillips. Of course, had a lot of movies by that time to his credit. Uh, La Bamba, Young Guns 1 and 2. So he had a lot of cachet. And Bob Gunton, who did the Shawshank Redemption, he played the warden of the prison. He was also excellent. Leon, he was always a very good actor, and he starred in Temptations, and also he did a great movie called The Five Heartbeats, which is a really underrated film, really underrated. But if you get a chance to look that up, do so. Great movie. And so this movie, there's two versions of it. There's an R-rated version of it, and then there's a version I believe they released on the SyFy Channel after the theatrical version. Um, this movie cost a little over $5 million to make, and it didn't do all that well at the box office. It made a little over $10 million, but it was a very popular movie on TV. I do remember seeing this being played a lot on the SyFy Channel at the turn of the century. Um, and actually, this movie really reminds me of another movie that came out in the 70s, 1979, and that was Nightwing. It basically had the same sort of theme as whereas the bats had plague and they were they were attacking everybody and anything, and they had to come up to stop them. To find their roost and stop them. They had a bat hunter there who was played by David Warner. Um, Stephen Nick Mancuso played the sheriff, and Catherine Harold played the love interest, so to speak. So it had a lot of similarities to Nightwing, not completely, but if you watch them side to side, there's a lot there. What's really interesting is more than anything else is who wrote this movie. This movie was written by a gentleman named John Logan. Now, a lot of people say, "Who's John Logan?" Well, John Logan is a tremendously talented writer. He wrote the screenplay for Tim Burton Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. He wrote for Sam Mendes 2 of his movies, Skyfall and Spectre. So he wrote 2 James Bond movies. He's also a 3-time Oscar Award nominee for Gladiator, The Aviator, and also for Best Adapted Screenplay for Hugo. So John Logan is a tremendous talent, and he cut his teeth right in a horror movie. And it's a smart movie. It's an intelligent movie, and it's well acted and is really well done for the budget it had. Um, yeah, I highly recommend this. I mean, this might be a little hard to find, a little bit hard to find. Um, it did come out in 1999. I would definitely check your local markets, eBay and Amazon, to see if you can find a copy of it. I don't know if it got a DVD or Blu-ray release. It definitely got a DVD release, and this is the first. This is the first edition of the movie. You can always tell the first editions basically by opening up the DVD and knowing that you got a good case. There's a little pamphlet here, a little information. This was really well taken care of. So, yeah, it's cool. Special features include a commentary with the director, Louis Morneau, and Lou Diamond Phillips, which is a very entertaining commentary. Highly recommend that. So yeah, so if you're into creature features, a little bat crazy or whatnot, highly recommend Bats to add to your collection. It's a nice film to have up there and show off, and it has a great pedigree to it. And all in all, it's awesome. One thing too, this movie will be probably a little, like I said, it might be a little hard to find, but you can also try to find it through Sony. Sony is the one that released this movie, so maybe a thin chance there, since it was a big release. You might be able to find it. You might be able to contact Sony and see if you can find a copy. Not really quite sure, but seems like a shot to take. All right. Well, thanks for watching the review. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the sub button, hit the notification button, and drop a comment. Let us know what you thought about Bats. One last thing I got to tell you right off the bat. I love Dina Meyer's hair in this movie. She looks sensational. I didn't realize that when they did it, that they put that's actually not her hair, because she's a redhead and they wanted her to be more of a blonde. So they put this wig on her and it looks great. Of course, she looks great in anything, right? But I thought that was really cute. Then they explain what they did. All right, that's fun fact for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.